In the golden age of Hollywood, there were thousands of heroes. John Wayne, Gary Cooper, Clint Eastwood, they were the ones you cheered for. But the villain, the true face of evil, there was only one. With eyes like a rattlesnake and a face sharp as a hawk. He didn't need to scream to scare you. He didn't need to act tough. He just stood there, stared, and you knew death had arrived. Lee Van Cleef, the man they called Angel Eyes. But behind those cold, dead eyes lay a tragic reality. Did you know that Hollywood's greatest bad guy was actually a suffering hero in real life? From a missing finger that he hid for decades, to a career that was almost destroyed before it began. This is the true, untold story of the man who taught Hollywood how to be bad. To understand the legend, we first have to understand the rejection. In the 1950s, Hollywood only wanted pretty boys. They wanted heroes with perfect smiles and soft features. Lee Van Cleef was the opposite. Directors told him his nose was too big. His eyes were too sharp. They said he looked too mean to be a star. For years, he was just a background actor, a punching bag for the real heroes. He struggled to pay his bills. The industry that would one day worship him didn't even want to look at him. But the physical pain he suffered was far worse than the rejection. Look closely at his hands in his movies. If you pay attention, you might notice something missing. In a car accident early in his life, Lee Van Cleef lost the tip of his middle finger on his right hand. For his entire career, he had to hide this injury. He curled his fingers or wore gloves to mask the disfigurement. But it wasn't just about looks. The accident left him with chronic pain that haunted him for decades. While he was looking like the toughest man on screen, he was often acting through pure agony. By the mid-1960s, the pain and the lack of work broke him. He quit acting. He started painting landscapes and drinking to forget Hollywood. It seemed the villain's story was over. But destiny had one last card to play. An Italian director named Sergio Leone was looking for a partner for Clint Eastwood for a few dollars more. He didn't want a pretty boy. He wanted a face that looked like it was carved out of rock. When Leone found Lee, he was living in a small apartment, weaving paintings to pay rent. Leone took one look at his sharp eyes and said, "That is the face of a predator." He offered him the role. Lee Van Cleef didn't just play the character, he stole the show. The man who was too ugly for Hollywood became the icon of the spaghetti western. He proved that sometimes the bad guy is more interesting than the hero. Lee Van Cleef passed away in 1989, but his legacy remains untouched. He wasn't just a villain, he was the bad that made the movies good. He taught us that you don't need a lot of dialogue to own the screen. You just need the eyes. What is your favorite Lee Van Cleef movie? Was it the good, the bad, and the ugly, or Death Rides a Horse? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to keep the spirit of the Old West alive, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.